And of course, I'm excited today because we've got a well-rounded young lady in the studio. She is, man, accomplished on many fronts. And let's just welcome in Tanisha Holliday. It seems like I need to put a doctor on there or something. There's no doctor?
Oh,
No.
you might be a prophetic.
Okay,
So,
whoa, hush bullshit. All right, that's Tanisha Holliday, of course. Leader Formation is her book, y'all, and we're going to get into this today. But first, we want to find out about the lady herself. Now, you're not originally from Memphis; you are a transplant. But yet, tell us, you've probably been here so long. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You growing up, and how did you end up in Memphis?
absolutely, I am just a little girl from Missouri
Okay.
that decided to believe what God said about her. So, I am from the Show Me State. Mahomes Magic, go Chiefs.
Okay.
Kansas City, born and raised. Bleed red and yellow. Love my hometown. Reminds me a lot of Memphis.
Yeah.
Blues, jazz, and barbecue is the culture. Attended college in Missouri as well, and now reside in Memphis for the last 16 years.
Wow. She has on red today. People in radio land who can't see her, but you can check us out on our Facebook page. But man, so in college, let's go back before you got to college. Though in high school, were you like running track or in any kind of extracurricular activities?
Yeah, so I was in the National Academic League. We actually did competitions, quiz bowls, knowledge
Okay,
bowls.
okay,
That was
okay.
one of the things. I played volleyball, ran track part of college as well before taking up studies in engineering. Participated in some really creative things that opened my mind up in high school, the solar bike team.
Yeah.
And just learning to build things from an early age.
Yeah, how is that possible, though? I mean, because most kids, I'm sure, were into cheerleading, dancing, and going out to party. How did you done name 4, 5 things that, that was kind of an anomaly? How it was your
Yes.
parents, your brothers and sisters did it first, you tried to follow them. What was the catalyst for a lot of this academic activity that you were in?
Sure. So I'm the middle child. I've
Okay.
always been the odd bird. I've always been the one that will try anything one time. And but I really credited a lot to my mom.
Okay.
She was a pursuer of higher learning. My mom was the first in her generation to obtain a college degree, and so
Wow.
following her footsteps.
What's her name?
Donna Neal. Shout out to my
good.
mom
Yes,
and my
yes, shout
dad
out.
as well, James Neal.
Okay.
Talk a little bit about him in my book as well,
Okay.
as far as his work ethic and him working with his hands really inspired me to become an engineer. But I believe I give a lot of credit to my high school counselors as well.
Okay.
And shout out to those that are in the education arena. That is such a critical place for young people to be encouraged, be inspired, and be guided on the right path. And we had counselors that took the time to find out where our strengths were. I remember sitting down in a office with a guidance counselor, and she had a book. It was a matrix, and it talked about if you were great in math and science, what career might that map you to for your future?
Okay.
And they began to expose us to careers that I never even knew existed. And so we had great high school counselors.
Wow. And one last question back on your childhood, though. How were you able to navigate that and not be called a nerd or was something that maybe you felt ostracized? How were you able to still maintain your social cred while you did those educational things? And I know I'm making it sound like it's an anomaly and people don't do that. But in today's society, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We kind of lean toward the easy, toward the thing that's fashionable, trendy. And it sounds like you were kind of in something that was totally disciplined, oriented, and you had to actually apply yourself. How were you able to navigate your peers during that time?
Simply my faith.
Okay.
Born and raised in the church and knowing who I am in God. My parents instilled that in me. My grandmother instilled that in me. My grandfather, appreciating the uniqueness and how I'm created, my own authenticity. I was called the stuck-up girl, the one that thinks, she was too good, goody two-shoes, the pretty girl, was picked on a lot for being smart and, pulling myself together to present myself as attractive and well-prepared for my day on a regular basis. But it was simply me going back to the foundation of, God, I know who you created me to be, and everybody that disagrees with it, they're the lie because I know what the
Yeah.
truth is. And I think that component is missing in our schools today. I love what they're doing in Horn Lake, giving an opportunity to students to come in before classes start
Okay.
for a Bible study session. It's optional if they want to, but the beauty of faith, it grounds you in the fact that you don't have to extinguish someone else's flame for yours to remain lit.
Yeah, that's what's up. And I hope we could bottle that sentiment and those energies up and put them in a non-religious kind of way,
Yeah.
because a lot of the kids and their families and things aren't really, into, maybe not be religious, and so then they shouldn't fall through the cracks because they don't believe a certain way. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's got to be a lift. It's got to be a way that we can get that same inspiration, instill those same values in our young people. And with Christianity or any other type of religion is great, but we need to have something that also inculcates or catches those. But that's just my little
Yes.
soapbox. I'm gonna crawl down now. And of course, I'm sorry. Did you have some?
Yeah, I was going to say, civil treatment.
Okay.
Civil treatment is a class that I help teach, even in the workplace.
Wow.
Honor, respect,
Yeah.
treating others the way that they want to be treated, anti-harassment workplace.
Okay.
And so civil treatment for leaders is one of the things I teach for leadership. And it starts even in the home.
Yeah.
Even as children, we need to know how to treat others as civil.
Yeah. Is that a phrase you coined, or is that something that's in the industry called civil?
It's something in the industry.
Okay.
It existed before I became active in my leadership career and journey.
Okay.
It's one of the tools that I adopted that I feel is a great practice to put in place.
That's what's up. All right, so you got out of high school, went to college, and it looks like you went to a couple of colleges, and you did some good stuff. Real quickly, just tell us about your college time.
Sure. I went to the University of Missouri at Rolla.
Okay.
It's known as the Purdue of the Midwest for science and technology.
Yeah.
It was formerly the Missouri School of Mines and Metallurgy, and expanded to every engineering discipline that you can think of, from biomedical to aeronautical to nuclear engineering.
Wow.
And I was a very good chemist in high school, and so pursued the specific discipline of chemical engineering, and did that for 4 years. Graduated with my bachelor's of science, and then went into the master's program and completed my master's in engineering management, because I knew I wanted to not just be a engineer. I wanted to be an influencer and a leader of an engineering team at some point, because I always naturally gravitated to the area of influence and leadership. And then later in life, as I just continued to grow and develop, I've gone back to school to Fuller Theological Seminary, where I'm pursuing a Master's of Divinity with an emphasis in pastoral counseling.
Wow, that is a lot you just said, lady. But when you were in college, did you do all this without a husband, without a spouse? Were you single all through the college life?
Not entire
Okay.
college life. The first half of it. The latter half, I was married,
Okay.
going into my graduate studies.
Okay.
And so,
But in your undergrad, you were single.
yes.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to ask you about there, because again, and I'm just trying to jump at these roadblocks that sometimes in our communities we go to college, but we end up getting caught up right there, and we don't. You know what I mean? And so, can you give us some best practices? And I'm just trying to pick your brain and glean from you that some of our listeners may, through osmosis, hear some things that maybe you did that they can either instill in their children or suggest to their kids, or if the kids are listening themselves, they could be able to avoid some of the things the pitfalls that others fall
Sure.
into. So, how were you able to maintain yourself and not fall off the rails during your time in college?
Absolutely. Don't isolate yourself in a relationship. There are so many activities to participate in on a college campus. It's the place for you to explore. It's the place that you identify what you desire, your passions, your interests. It's the opportunity for you to literally take road trips, celebrate life's journeys, all different types of things
But
that
I love him. I want to spend all day with him.
anybody that isolates you from opportunities does not not love you.
Wow.
And I tell people all the time, anybody that loves you, they push you to be everything that you want to be, everything you want to try. They support you in all of your dreams, all of your efforts, all of your pursuits. And so you want to get involved. You may be interested in a sorority or fraternity. There's all different types of groups where you can find family and community outside of the unhealthy discipline of spending all of your time with one person.
Wow.
That's unhealthy. Even when you grow and become married, to spend all of your time with one person is to box yourself in and prevent the pursuit of learning. We're meant to live in community. We're meant to be around other people that inspire us to grow and stretch and expand our capacity. And so it's all about being able to engage with community, engaging with other people. So I would definitely say get involved, be a part of teams, be a part of clubs, be a part of opportunity to travel. Also balance. Don't spend all of your time studying. You know, we understand that you want a certain grade. You want the internship, right? When the companies come to the job fair and the career fair, but at the same time, you want to be a well-rounded person.
Wow. All right. Well, hopefully she is giving you the keys to the kingdom. And if you're going back to college, now you got it as well. All right. That's what's up. So then you got out of college and then you were married and you were doing your thing. And then eventually you landed in Memphis. I do want to talk about something else in your bio that talked about that you were the first female in a position, biochemical position. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. I was the first female and African-American vice president of operations for the Ishihara Sanyo Kaisha Japanese formulation company. We manufactured turf grass chemicals, agrochemicals, specialty coatings, and paints for roofs.
Wow.
And cedar fences.
Okay.
And that was a journey. Anytime you are the first, you will experience opposition. You will experience a fight to prove that you belong there. Okay. But I just want to tell anybody that has a dream that's out there listening today, if you have seen it, you will see it.
Wow.
If you have been able to conceive it and see it in your mind, that is God telling you you're supposed to do it and you're supposed to be there. You belong there. Don't let one no make you stop walking down the hallway until you get to the door of your yes, because there is a space and a place that you're supposed to be sitting at that particular table. And so it was lots of learning, lots of feedback, lots of criticism, lots of stretching myself, lots of hard work, lots of discipline. But at the end of the day, the best candidate will always get the job. And if you believe that, know that if in one moment you didn't, there's something better that's out there for you.
Yeah, don't let prejudice or your thought of anybody holding you back or they stop you from at least trying, because to your point, eventually you'll get to your door of yes.
Yes, yeah.
That's what's up. All right, so then we get out and we do these things. I just wanted to go back and there's one other thing I want to do. You've had to learn, I don't know, they call it code switching, but I don't know if that's really what it's called. You know what I'm saying? But you've had to learn how to navigate different cultures, different worlds, different environments. How does travel fit into that? And what do you say to parents about that?
Sure. I have mixed emotions about code switching, right? So I am who I am at home, at work, at church, the community, my gym, with my children. And if I can't bring my culture, if I can't bring my colloquialisms, if I can't bring my choice of food, my preferences, then that's not the space for me. There's a difference between not doing the work to properly present yourself, having broken grammar, having broken English, not doing your homework, not doing your research. There's a difference between that and having to separate from your culture. Okay. It's my culture that makes me resist resilient. It's my culture, my ancestry, my heritage, even that the fact that my people came out of slavery, some of the songs I sing, my broad nose, my kinky hair, my thought processes, my diversity of thought, the way I think about things that adds to the tenacity and the value creation that I bring to every organization that I'm a part of. So that's why I wear faux locks. That's why I changed to a twist out, and I confidently go in a room with senior leaders with whatever nail color polish that I want to have on, understanding that I don't have to apologize for the creativity that's helping to build your success. You want my mind, but you don't want the appearance that makes you uncomfortable. And what is it that says that my appearance is full of creativity, full of color, full of a different texture hair is wrong? What makes straight hair and a certain color hair right, but ours wrong?
Yeah.
And so code switching for me presents a problem.
Okay.
If I have to keep turning off who I really am, at some point there's a place of misery that I can't be who I've always been created to be. And so certainly polish yourself. Certainly get your education. Certainly make sure that in the pursuit of knowledge, you become everything that you desire to be. But don't ever feel like you've got to hide your voice or you've got to dim your light of your preferences, the things that you enjoy, your fashion, the way you desire to show up in a particular space.
Girl. Woo-wee. She has spoken a word. Forget the book. We're going to throw the book in the garbage can, you know. Okay. Now, let's spend this last few moments on this book, though. But before, and I do have one final question, though, for you. Your husband, and then how has that been for you as a woman, being so, one, educated and so vocal and verbal? How, did you navigate finding the right man for you or him finding you, however that went? And what do you say to ladies who have this type of drive that you have and the ambition that they don't have to settle, that they don't have to take a back seat, and they also have to learn to navigate the space? I'm sure you had to do that as well, to know the femininity, masculinity dynamics and when to pull back, when to go forward, that kind of thing. Could you talk about that a little bit?
Yes. So the terminology right now is living your soft life, right?
Okay.
So I live a soft life at home. I cannot wear the pants at home.
Okay.
I cook, I clean, I serve my husband, I serve my children.
Say it again, mama.
And so I think one of the challenges, and I'm going to help some of you all
right,
independent women out here today. Some of the challenges are you cannot be independent at home. We've got to lay down that calling card of I can do it all by myself.
Okay.
You were never meant to do it all by yourself. You were meant to be in relationship. You were meant to be in partnership. You were meant to be in collaboration. And if you don't allow anyone to share in the work and you want to do it all, you'll never find the person that will not be intimidated by you.
Okay.
Sometimes but you've got to sit back and allow somebody else to lean in. My husband is a United States Marine. He saw 3 tours of active duty. He is a very disciplined man, being a part of the military. He's a very confident man, but he's also a man that knows how to lead. And so I have to allow him to lead. And so I love times when we're sitting down, we're making banking and business decisions. And honey, what are you thinking that we should do here? What is God saying to you about our upcoming year for the family? Allow them to lead. And so we wear different hats.
Hang on one second, can I ask you this? So is the work in the choosing? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because can you because sometimes they got cute hair, but you know what I'm saying, or whatever the criteria that you were drawn to that person. And so, at what point do we do a little work to see if they can handle us?
Yeah, tear your list up.
Okay.
These lists that we have that have all of these things that you have not become. Don't put a list out there that you're not willing to become yourself. You want them to have perfect teeth, but you haven't invested in $5,000 of braces for yourself. You want them to have an $800 credit score, but you're coming out of bankruptcy. How will you all purchase a home together? You don't want them to have children, but you've been in so many different intimate relationships and maybe you don't have something to prove, but you're carrying all of this baggage, but you want nobody else to come with anything that has to be worked on. And marriage is working on your stuff together. And so if the stuff is so ugly when you meet them that it's not something you're willing to invest in and work on together, that's a red flag and a sign that this is not the person of your choosing. And so we've got to stop getting caught up in the surface, and we've got to start asking the questions about the future. What are your dreams? What are your goals? If you are a homebody, but this is a person that's called to missional work or civil service, or they want to be an alderman one day, then that's not a fit. This is two different pathways of purpose, right? And so we've got to look beyond, will my baby have light eyes if we get together? And so we need to really go back and examine why we're choosing who we're choosing.
Wow. We've got 9 minutes left, so let's get this in. When did you know you wanted to be an author? Is that something that you've always aspired to, or did it just kind of happen? Tell us about that.
So it happened organically through conversations. I would get called often to speak to students at school about STEM and STEM careers, and people would hear my story. They'd hear my testimony. They ask, at your age, how did you get where you are? And I thought about it. It was good leadership.
Okay.
I was able to demonstrate to others that I could lead, not out of emotion, not out of fear, not out of lording my leadership or my position of authority over those that I employed. And that just thrust me and propelled me to those successive levels in leadership. And I said, I need to put this in a book. I need to put this in a book in a real simple form for entry-level leadership that's saying, I've been an individual contributor, but now I want to move into a supervisory role. I want to move into a manager role. I'm looking for greater responsibility, greater compensation. I want to contribute at a greater level. How does that look? And what are some things maybe that I could use as a model or a blueprint to develop myself in the area of leadership?
Wow. And so you did say something that I wanted to kind of pick your brain on, and that is, as a woman, I believe emotions, because sometimes, even in the business sense, something could happen, could trigger, and you get emotional. How do you navigate that? How do you not get emotional?
Sure.
Or everybody gets emotional. How do you control that emotions to be used in a positive way? Let me put it like that.
I always tell people, break before you break. BRAKE before you BREAK. Pump your brakes. You're right. Slow down, low down. If you're in a heated conversation, you've got to be able to keep your composure.
Okay.
One of my favorite lines is, all right, we'll take this offline. What does that give everybody an opportunity to do? Let's leave this particular action item while it's heated, while it's heavy in the moment, before any of us say something that we'll regret saying, before any of us say something that puts our job on the line. We'll break from that. Hey, let's take this one offline in a separate meeting. That gives everybody time to cool off. We'll reschedule something for a few days later. We'll move down to the other action items that are on the list, on the task agenda for that particular meeting. And then next week, Wednesday, everybody's had time to think about it over the weekend. Everybody's had time to process. People are not in the moment receiving information for the very first time. And then now we can kind of have more of a level-headed discussion. And it also gives us opportunity to make sure that the right people are in the room, because sometimes our behavior is a result of, I don't want people that are in the room to think, that I'm a chump. Yeah.
And I remember listening to one of my Muslim friends, and he talked about how they don't let certain people into the main meeting, because people will be so busy looking and worrying about what how this person is receiving the message, that they aren't receiving the message themselves. You know what I'm saying? They're so busy doing that. And so having the right people in the room is important. I'm just looking at one of your chapters. It says your brand is always with you. Kind of tell us about that.
Absolutely. Coca-Cola is Coca-Cola in the corner store.
Okay.
Coca-Cola is Coca-Cola if it's served to you at a hotel in room service. Coca-Cola is Coca-Cola if you travel to Japan like I have for work. Everywhere you go, you know what Coca-Cola's brand is. You know its taste. You know that it's going to be bottled in a way that's presentable. You know it's going to have that red label. You know that seasonally they're going to put people's name on it or snowflakes. You know you're going to have an opportunity to win a prize. You know that whatever environment that you consume Coca-Cola in, you have a thought that stays with you about what this brand means, what it says. And so we've got to get to the point where we understand I don't lay my brand down when I'm at the gym. I don't lay my brand down when I'm at the grocery store. I don't lay my brand down when I get on social media. Employers are looking at your social media page.
Okay.
So your brand stays with you. It's not a cape. It's not a cloak that you change in the phone booth like Superman. You put it on when you want. You take it off when you want. People are always watching you. They see you when you don't see them. And so we've got to be mindful that every moment we step out of our house or our place of residence, what is our brand? And are we communicating that in a way where people can look at us and say, I automatically know what they stand for, what they believe for. I know what their gifts and talents are. I know what area they're the subject matter expertise in. I know who I would refer to this person if I was referencing them for a need in the community. And so we've got to make sure that we understand our brand is always with us. You can't pick it up and lay it down.
Y'all, these are just a couple, but when I tell you, she's got some amazing topics in here. And the name of the book is Leader, Lead in the small ER, Formation, Position to Soar. Tanisha Holliday, if you're just joining us, I'm talking with author Tanisha Holliday, and she's the author of that particular book I just read. The last chapter I'll ask you about is, and I don't know if this relates to anybody, I know, you know what I'm saying, being late causes us to miss key scenes in our own life movie. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. We got to be prepared. Be prepared for where you're going next.
Okay.
If somebody wanted a copy of your book, do you have it in your car? If somebody wanted you to be able to come and teach a seminar or a workshop, do you already have the modules developed? Where are you in your goal setting and goal planning? Because if we are not disciplined, lack of discipline results in derailment from purpose. If we're not disciplined, we experience us getting off track from the end goal. And so we can't be late to the party. When I tell people all the time, when you enter a meeting late, you forfeit your opportunity of what you wanted to share. Because being on time says I'm considerate of everybody else's time, what they have going on. And so if we're not careful, we will miss the flight to our next destination. We've got to be prepared for what's next.
Wow. And of course, where can they find the copies of this book?
Absolutely. You can get a copy of this book and lots of other resources at www.tanishaholiday.com.
Tanisha, can you spell it for us?
TANISHAHOLL, two L's,
Okay.
IDAY.com.
And it's the same handle on social media as well?
It's the same handle on social media. Tanisha Holliday on all platforms.
Man, I think I've been calling you Tanisha, but it's Tanisha.
Tanisha.
All right, that's what's up. And for those that are watching on social media, this is how the books look. This is how the book looks when you see it on Amazon or any other type of a platform. So, man, let's send a shout out to your husband, though, and any work that he's got going on.
Absolutely. My husband, Kenneth Holliday, is the CEO and founder of Holliday Security Consultants.
Oh, wow.
So if you all have any security needs, you need security detail, you need a security plan developed, escape plan developed. He does active shooter training.
Wow.
He's a licensed self-defense coordinator.
Okay.
If you need any of that for your business, please contact him at 901-730-6548. That's 901-730-6548. Over 25 years of military tactical experience in the United States Marine Corps.
And he's a preacher. He can shoot and then pray for you. Anyway.
The best of both worlds.
All right, and your kids, give them a shout out as well.
Yes, Kristen, our nurse. Our daughter's a nurse in Dallas,
Okay,
Texas.
okay.
And then we have Edward, a 15-year-old at Germantown High School. And then
Okay.
we have 10-year-old Kenneth, who is the baby of the bunch. I love you all. You are 3 of my 4 heartbeats.
Look at that. Look at that. That's what's up. Well, ladies, we have heard from a ladies' lady, and I think she has talked corporate, and she's also talked how to be submissive and feminine at home as well. And that is a wonderful balance to try to strive for. Any final thoughts, any final shouts out, any final words you want to leave with our audience?
Sure. I definitely want to send a shout out to Memphis Cellulose. It's the current plant where I lead as the operations leader, the best team in the world. Love you guys. Thank you for showing up every day and for all that you do. Thank you. Michael Adrian Davis, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you for definitely taking the call when we asked. Next week, we're going to have Miss Brewini Jackson. Of course, she's the author and therapist and podcaster, and she's got a book, Against All Odds, Professional Counseling. So definitely be here on next week, and we'll do that. In the meantime, let's get into this record. Thank you again, Tanisha Holliday, for your wonderful words that I'm sure have inspired many. And we'll see you next time, and we'll keep in touch with you, all right?